Maddox from Kids on the Land. We are so sorry we can't be with you this year out on the land, so we're going to come to you with video presentations. At Kids on the Land, we have a mission, a job. We want you to learn about the place where you live. Why do we think that's so important? We want you to connect to the land, especially the land in your environment, so we'll all take care of it. And to take care of it, we need to know it. And to know it and be willing to take care of it, we need to love it. Last year, when you were fourth graders and you came out for our Kids on the Land Day, we had a timeline of events here in this area. It started about 10,000 years ago. And if you recall, we had a picture of a mammoth in that timeline. And then we showed you this picture of a mammoth's tusk. This mammoth tusk came from an area right around Sweetwater. And you can see it today in the Nolan County Pioneer Museum. But if we were to create a timeline of this area, we could begin millions of years ago. And that's what Gerald Doggett and Dr. Celeste Hill are going to talk about today.
Hey kiddos, it's Daryl Doggett here at Kids on the Land. Sorry you weren't able to come see us this year at Kids on the Land at the ranch, but we still want to talk to y'all about how the world looked back a long time ago, right? So we talked about last year, whenever you were here in fourth grade, how we were 10,000 years ago looking at woolly mammoths crossing these plains. But what did it look like longer ago than that? Anybody want to guess? Did it have huge mountains? No, there weren't huge mountains out here. We don't find evidence of the huge mountains in these rocks. But we do find evidence of other things. What if I told you that as opposed to huge mountains around here, we had deep oceans? What if I told you that this entire area, this whole part of Texas, was underwater? Well, it was. And we can find evidence of that in the rocks. So, I'm going to show you a map of what this area would have looked like 65 million years ago. We are here, and as you can see, we are underwater right now. So 65 million years ago, this part of North America was covered with an inland Cretaceous sea called the Western Interior Seaway. Now, this lasted for several million years, past 65 million years ago. But about 100 million years before that, it had been here. So it laid down a lot of sediment, and a lot of creatures lived in this inland Cretaceous sea and died in this Cretaceous sea. Now, when they died, what happened to their body parts? Most of them were eaten, except for the body parts that were hard, like bones, shells, things like that we see in the oceans today that we can find fossils of in the rocks today. Now, you're at the 69 Ranch, and all around me is a rock. And this rock looks like this. This is limestone. Everybody say limestone. Now, limestone is very interesting because it can contain fossils just like this one. This is a fossil of a creature that lived a long time ago during the Cretaceous time period in this sea. Now, in this inland Cretaceous sea, do you think that there were big, large land animals walking around out here in the middle of the water, where the water's like 300 meters deep? No, we don't find evidence of dinosaurs in this area. In this rock, there aren't dinosaur fossils. However, all of the creatures that would live in this sea are in this rock. We find shells like oysters, clams. We find all sorts of coral, sea lilies, all sorts of really, really neat creatures that lived during this time period, the Cretaceous time period. And you yourself can go and look at the limestone rocks, and you can find fossils just like this. I challenge each of you to go and look in your neighborhoods, around your schools. Try to find rocks with fossils in them. This one's a very neat one right here, and I just picked it up off the ground. I didn't even know it was here. So, right out here in the middle, we find these small creatures. Around the edges, yes, you're right, there were dinosaurs. Look up the dinosaurs that are alive during the Cretaceous time period. They're very interesting. One of the dinosaurs that I find very interesting is this one. This is the Paluxysaurus jonesii, and that is the state dinosaur of Texas. The state dinosaur of Texas. So, to tell you a little bit more about collecting fossils, we're going to talk to Dr. Celeste Hill in just a second. Love you guys, and y'all have a great day. Bye.
Hi, I'm Dr. Celeste Hill, and if you were with me today, we would be sitting out here at the 69 Ranch at Kids on the Land, experiencing the flowers, the fossils, and the open outdoors. We would be enjoying the day. I would like to read to you a story, so come sit with me, and we'll read this story, A Hunter of Fossils. Maybe you are a hunter of fossils. Maybe you are the one who turns the dark earth of a flat Kansas wheat field and touches a fish in the stone. Maybe you are the one climbing rocky ledges in Utah to look at a trilobite over 500 million years old. Maybe you are the one in Wyoming with your feet in a dinosaur track, or the one who finds a seed fern in Pennsylvania so perfect that every vein still shows. Maybe you are the one here on this hillside and you found the mammoth tusk that they found near Sweetwater. Or maybe the one who gathers these fossils in the rocks on the 69 Ranch. Maybe you are a hunter of fossils like me. I am the one on the West Texas limestone ridge here, reading the rocks along with this book, looking for signs of the sea that once was here. Today, you'd find me resting on a chalky limestone boulder here on the 69 Ranch. There are seashells in this rock, jumbled, jammed together, large and small. I always stop and touch the ones that curl like little ram's horns, Exogyra texana. And then I sit here in the sun resting at this spot. I see the ranch land, the clumps of cactus, and the tall cattails and the dry grass bending in the wind. I see the cedar trees, the wild hogs running wild, the dust devils blowing in the dirt road going to a windmill, and the one blue pickup truck moving slowly down that road. But that seems far away and not quite real. Up here, what's real is the shallow, warm Cretaceous sea that all these seashells once knew. On this ledge, every rock still holds the memory of that time. When you are here, you hold it too. The ocean's salt is in your blood. Think about that. The salt over time, the salt that you eat, was once in the ocean. The lime in this rock, the calcium in it, is in your bones. Its waves rise slow and green around you, and you feel the pull of the tides. It never seems to be now. Here, time flows back and forth so easily that any day can be wrapped up inside some other day that came and went 100 million years ago. Here, when I find a brachiopod or a mollusk or a round sea urchin, I don't just see it as if it's on a mountain locked in a rock. I see it in that ancient lapping water. I see the tiny clams plowing through the mud. I see the sea lilies sway. I see all the creatures with shells and plates and spines slowly moving, glimmering. They hide in the crevices, creep in the holes in the rocks. I see the waving tentacles and curving spiral shells of ammonites. It is their day. They are the masters of this sunken seafloor world, and some of the little baculites and belemnites that go along with them, the squid-like creatures. Above them, fish swim lazily by coral reefs. Sharks move through the darkness in the ancient sea. It is an age of reptiles in the sea, of giant turtles and great serpents, sharp-toothed monsters, swimming lizards 40 feet long. Do you know how long 40 feet is? Think about that. That's a couple of pickup trucks long. A 40-foot-long lizard. And in the air above the waves, a reptile named Pteranodon flaps its long, gray, bat-like wings and dives for food. No animal so large has ever flown before that time or since. But on this limestone ledge, any little wind brings back the sound of those fog-gray wings still flapping. Up here, you're never surprised by the things like that. Sometimes you even feel the long, slow terror in that world when the water turned into mud. It took millions of years for ocean slime and sun to fight it out, but finally the sunshine won. Now that sea is a mountain of rock that I climb with a shell in my hand. If you are a hunter of fossils, you know how the day always ends. You know how it is to go home feeling glad that you walk in the sun, breathing the air. You always walk home kind of proud. You always hold on to that long chain of life as you go. If you've enjoyed me reading this book today, please check your local library there. We have donated this book to your library so you can check it out and read it for yourself. Kids on the Land was happy to donate this to you. Thank you. Be sure to look down and look around in your rocks around you, and you'll discover lots of treasures and lots of neat finds. Thank you.
Kids on the land, kids on the land, kids and nature go hand in hand. Gather your friends, come along with me. Get to know your nature neighbors naturally. There's animals and insects and plants galore. There's fossils and history of what's happened before. This world is a spinning and it's only beginning. Will there always be room for more? Sure! Kids on the land, kids on the land. Learn about this world starting right where you stand. The earth is alive, ain't it just grand? Let's keep it that